Whoa, okay, now this is deep right here. So this guy right here, he went from Auckland Grammar to Global Cartel. So I've actually driven past Auckland Grammar School a couple times, and just the area in Auckland and seeing the beauty of this city, seeing like the environment of what it how calm it could be for you to grow up, to then go to Global Cartel. This has to be an interesting story. And when I say that, I'm not saying New Zealand and Auckland is like just sunshine and rainbows, bro. It's always like, streets everywhere. It's always hoods everywhere. It's always gonna be violent. So when I say that, I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. Like Auckland, New Zealand is just super sweet and this and that. But what I'm saying is like it seems to be very possible to just stay out the way and just live a simple life. If you get involved in stuff, it's like it seems like it's more or less of you being just a bystander to more of you involve yourself in that. But because in America, like I think you can easily be more of a like innocent bystander than be involved in some stuff. Or the cards you get dealt with, like you have to kind of do certain things that might put you in harm's way. But let's check out this video, man. This shit should be interesting, bro.
In 2016, with a handgun tucked in the waistband of his pants, a terrified Auckland drug courier arrived for a meeting, convinced a police Eagle helicopter was tracking him. But this wasn't a rendezvous with a rival gang. It was for a lie detector test, while the man who ordered it, Don Yoza, wasn't even in the country. This documentary aims to present an honest and unfiltered account of the case surrounding former New Zealand drug lord Xavier Valent. Xavier Valent, birth name Harry Whitehead, was born on the 26th of January 1989. While having a relatively normal upbringing, his home life was rather unsettled. His parents separated, and he became estranged from his father, instead being raised by his grandfather, whom he reportedly adored. But when he passed away, while Valent was still young, it seemed to exacerbate Valent's descent. He was expelled from a few schools, but eventually attended Auckland Grammar School, located in the suburb of Epsom in central Auckland.
Okay, so off top, it started right there. Both his father figures left his life, and his granddad died, and then he started getting expelled. Probably had a bunch of anger, a bunch of confusion, didn't know where to put that energy, and it seems like that's where it started right there. His granddad passed away.
This detail was the headline many news reports ran with, the shocking contrast of a prestigious student turned kingpin, but the reality on the ground was much more complex. Despite achieving academically, he was also known to associate with the local small-time Auckland street gangs, and by his late teenage years, he was already a pretty large-scale drug dealer, dealing mostly in LSD and GHB. In 2010, at age 21, he was sentenced to 5 years and 3 months in prison for possession and distribution of narcotics. Valent referred to this first prison stint as university, a place where he made crucial connections and learned the tradecraft to take his criminality to the next level. Upon his release,
Wow, my guy went to jail and got some credits. He went to jail and got a damn, what's that called? A degree. No way.
Around April 2015, to take his criminality to the next level. Upon his release around April 2015, Valent set out on a new venture with an associate he met in prison. They initially focused on importing the methamphetamine precursor chemical, ephedrine. This first set of charges, later part of an investigation codenamed Operation Collision, involved importing more than 70 kilograms of the chemical in the year of 2016. But as customs and police began investigating his nascent operation, they started to make links between ephedrine packages arriving at properties in South Auckland and started arresting Valent's associates. Valent fled New Zealand in late 2016 and based himself overseas, traveling on a British passport under the alias Troy Carlton. From overseas, Valent fled New Zealand in late 2016 and based himself overseas, traveling on a British passport under the alias Troy Carlton.
That almost seems to be the dumbest place to go, just cause the UK and New Zealand is just like this. So they were sending them through the mail.
From overseas, Valent would build his empire. From 2016 to 2020, Valent built and controlled a sprawling international drug cartel as the Kingpin or Mr. Big. Police alleged the syndicate imported over a ton of methamphetamine, MDMA, cocaine, and ephedrine into New Zealand over a 3-year period. At its peak, the cartel was allegedly making between 800,000 to 1 million a week in cold hard cash. Valent controlled all aspects of the operation from overseas, with no evidence suggesting anyone was above him in the hierarchy. He sourced product from countries including the UK, China, Panama, and Colombia.
And them Kiwi boys got potential. Bro, them Kiwi boys got potential. Look at what he did, bro. He's making a name for himself, bro. He had a good 3-year run. So, and then he was in the UK for 3 years. Like, they didn't find him or nothing. And they was making $1 million a week. Cause you know, like in New Zealand, it's probably taxed heavy too, just because it's so isolated and shit.
Where they could be bought cheaply and sold at a huge markup back in New Zealand. From a logistical standpoint, the operation was incredible. Narcotics was smuggled via airmail and courier, with books being a common method, as the organic paper would disrupt the postal scanners at the time. He operated like a real micromanager, maintaining daily control via the encrypted messaging app.
Damn, so what's his name? Xavier could have been a real live logistics manager he could have been a real live dispatcher, a real one. Sending them things through the mail. I was curious, like, how are they doing that? So this is 2016. Damn, the technology must have been so shit recently that people were able to just send them a bunch through the mail through some books.
Like a real micromanager, maintaining daily control via the encrypted messaging app Wicca, disguising his true identity with aliases like Focus, Global Trading, Orchestrator, and Don Yoza. He issued a list of daily detailed instructions to his employees to deliver or collect narcotics and cash, as well as frequent stocktake requirements. He even used 10 Crack Commandments, a song by the notorious B.I.G., as a code of good tradecraft for his workers. To run the New Zealand side, Valent recruited a network of associates, often targeting vulnerable people battling drug addiction or facing financial strife. He enlisted friends, as well as another associate he met in custody, who went on to manufacture methamphetamine at his direction in a decrepit hut in Whangaruru, Northland. The network was highly structured, with workers being paid.
I'm thinking about it now. The far north might be the best place for you to do stuff like that, cause it's so low key, so quiet. There's so many spots where it's like nobody around, so private. But this man, he had boots on the ground.
Whangaruru, Northland. The network was highly structured, with workers being.
What are we looking at? So Xavier's the kingpin. Then we have the top new lieutenant, key lieutenant, storeman, money launderer, meth cook, storeman, catcher, storeman. I wonder if Xavier had to like get his hands dirty. How they doing the real cartel? You know, they beheading people, killing people, all type of stuff like that.
Paid salaries that could be docked for poor performance. These workers were given different roles. Catchers provided addresses to receive the imported parcels. One catcher, Sam James Edmonds, was a former methamphetamine addict paid in meth and modest cash.
Of course.
Runners delivered the drugs and collected the money. One employee described using Lime e-scooters to make up to 20 wholesale deliveries a day. Storers would...
Bro, imagine that. You seeing these kids on the Lime scooters thinking they just regular kids being silly, riding a Lime scooter, having fun with a backpack on. Whole time, this guy's a real runner throwing you off. He got drugs in his bag.
Package and e-scooters.
Making more money than you.
To make up to 20 wholesale deliveries a day. Storers would package and cut the drugs into smaller wholesale amounts. This included Jose Marie Torres Macalalad, Peter Donghai Kim, and even Mirtha Susan Ramos Mazuela, the 59-year-old mother of Valent's top NZ lieutenant. That lieutenant was Hugo Alarcon Ramos. He, along with Terry Treasurer, sat closer to the top and were mainly entrusted with handling large amounts of cash. Valent's control was absolute. Following a safe house robbery in 2016, he hired Craig Gubbins, a former NZSIS officer, to administer polygraph tests to his frightened workers.
At what point do you get out of this, man? Cause I'm the type, like, I went to the casino, I made $50 and I never gambled again. I doubled my money. Well, I went in there with 40 and I went out with $90. I was done. That was enough for me. They didn't want to lose it. At this point, you making $1 million a week. I don't know, like, do these guys get too comfortable? Does it feel too easy? How do you not get out once you make like 2 million? That's really all you need. You can take that and clean it up and you good forever. Well, not forever, but you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, cause you eventually you get too knee deep in this shit, man. You get caught.
Former NZSIS officer to administer polygraph tests to his frightened workers. Valent, who emailed the tester from overseas at 3 a.m. in the morning, wanted to know who was ratting on him. One man reportedly turned up for the test, terrified, and claiming he was being chased by a police Eagle helicopter with a handgun tucked in the back of his pants. While his network operated in fear, Valent lived a lavish lifestyle. He sent a postcard from the Maldives to one of his workers. Signed Don Yoza, it promised riches and luxury with the added note of a little taste of what the future holds.
That seems very dumb to do. Like, this is proof right here. But if I heard that correctly, he had a personal guy that's in the system or whatever, testing out his runners and putting them on lie detector tests. That's very smart.
Promised riches and luxury with the added note of a little taste of what the future holds. While Valent built his empire, New Zealand police were building a case. Operation Mystic, an 8-month-long investigation run by the National Organised Crime Group, began around June 2019. The lead investigator, Detective Sergeant John Sota, described it as probably the largest drug investigation that he'd ever been involved with. Police used an Interpol Blue Notice, an international request to collect information on Valent's whereabouts for several years before being able to request an Interpol Red Notice, a global alert calling for his arrest. The investigation was sprawling. As one reporter noted, if you imagine a drug operation out of the movies, this was it. Detectives were breaking into storage lockers and apartments, placing covert listening devices, then retreating to the safety of their clandestine lookout spots to observe.
But see, I want to know how the police even got, like, how did they even get information of that to know to come after him? I'm always curious, how did that little crack even happen? And then it seems like they just let him go to UK. Like, they wasn't chasing him because now they have a global alert for him. But when he first got over there, when he first fled, they wasn't chasing him. They didn't put a global alert for him. They just thought he was gonna just go over there and chill. Probably let him run it up so they had more evidence on him or something.
This was it. Detectives were breaking into storage lockers and apartments, placing covert listening devices, then retreating to the safety of their clandestine lookout spots to observe the suspects in question. In the month of November 2016, an older woman from the rural countryside, known only as Witness 1, was arrested. She was recruited by Valent as a catcher in exchange for protection of her jailed son. She quit in October 2016, later stating, "He could burn the house, break my legs. I didn't care. I just wasn't doing it anymore."
Yep, that's that's how it happens right there, bro. That's how it happens right there, bro. And I ain't being sexist or nothing, but usually they always say it's easier to get through the females when you put them under that pressure, questioning them, threatening them with jail time. They're probably gonna fold, bro. And that's just what it is. Like, not being sexist or nothing, not being sexist at all. It's just, this is the most typical right here.
He could burn the
It's
house,
just a pattern.
break my legs. I didn't care. I just wasn't doing it anymore. The authorities had her full cooperation. A pivotal moment occurred in mid-2019 when a downtown Auckland apartment used as a meth den by two other witnesses caught fire. The pair went on the run before later turning themselves in. To build trust, the police arranged supervised visits with the witnesses and their children who had been taken into state care due to the parents' lifestyles. This trust was crucial in convincing them to testify. In late 2019, a botched plan to import 500 kilograms of methamphetamine from the island nation of Tonga via a yacht was foiled. A syndicate member reportedly got drunk, resulting in their confession about the scheme. In the month of February 2020, police terminated Operation Mystic. They executed search warrants at 11 properties across Auckland, ending in the arrests of 10 people. More than $1 million in cash was seized, along with high-end vehicles and multiple firearms.
So they found so they got his stuff by a woman who didn't like him anymore and a man who was drunk.
More than 1 million in cash was seized, along with high-end
Loaded.
vehicles and multiple firearms, including a military-style rifle. And on February 2nd, 2020, the key player himself, Xavier Valent, was arrested at the Italian border only moments after he landed on an interconnecting flight from Hong Kong via Istanbul. When he was arrested, the daily instructions to his syndicate in New Zealand ceased immediately, causing widespread panic among the members. In the month of October 2020, Xavier Valent was extradited from Italy to New Zealand. He was taken to Palermo prison under COVID-19 quarantine rules. While awaiting trial, he was held at least for parts of his incarceration in the high-security prisoners of extreme risk unit, a unit set up for the country's most dangerous and disturbing inmates.
What we looking at? We got Peru cell with television, Peru cell shower with view to yard, a prisoner's legal papers stacked in the center of the image. Peru cell toilet with makeshift cardboard toilet cover on floor at right. Toilet cover right here. Okay, that's the cover. Small exercise yard attached to Peru cell. CCTV camera at top left.
Including the Christchurch shooter. While he was there, he tried filing a judicial review requesting hair-cutting scissors, stating he did not want to look like a barbarian before the jury. A judge rejected the request, stating that the prison's offer of hair clippers was a reasonable solution, as its primary duty was to maintain security and not a fancy haircut. The trial for Valent and his co-defendant Terry Treasurer began in the Auckland High Court in February 2023 before Justice Sally Fitzgerald. Valent technically represented himself, though he was assisted by two lawyers acting as amicus curiae, or friends of the court, Nicholas Leader and Samadou Thode. On the first day of the 6-week trial, he had a strange outburst claiming the trial was illegitimate and wanted no part in it. He did not speak again for the rest of the marathon trial, appearing largely emotionless and wearing a face mask the whole time. The Crown prosecution presented evidence from investigators, the polygraph examiner, and 4 cooperating witnesses who all had name suppression. These witnesses testified in exchange for immunity or lighter sentences. They detailed their motivations, including drug addiction, financial strife, and a desire to protect their loved ones from retribution. The defense did not present evidence, but instead, Valent's friends of the court argued the point of identity, that the Crown could not prove, beyond reasonable doubt, that he was the man behind the aliases, Focus, and Global Trading. In the month of April 2023, after 2 days of deliberation, the jury returned unanimous verdicts. Terry Treasurer was found guilty on 3 representative charges, while Xavier Valent was found guilty on 86. These 86 charges spanned the full gambit of importing, manufacturing, possession for supply, and supply of significant quantities of narcotics. The sentencing for his co-offenders was staggered. The lieutenants received heavy sentences. Hugo Alarcon Ramos, the syndicate's top lieutenant, was sentenced in September 2020 to 12 years in prison.
They getting them out of there. And the thing too is, with the cartel in Mexico, those guys, sometimes the cartel is in the government, so that helps them get out. But in New Zealand, I doubt the cartel is infiltrated in New Zealand's judicial system, so probably won't have no crooked judge letting you free.
Syndicate's top lieutenant was sentenced in September 2020 to 12 years in prison. Terry Treasurer was sentenced in June 2023 to 7 years and 8 months. Ironically, his professional history not only included nearly 2 years at post-haste couriers, but he also described himself on LinkedIn as a highly motivated and organized individual skilled in increasing revenues and profits. The stores also received significant sentences.
Wow.
Jose Mari Torres was sentenced in November 2020 to 12 years in prison. Peter Donghai Kim received 10 years and 10 months in May 2022, and Mirtha Susan Ramos Mazuela, Ramos's mother, was sentenced in July 2021 to 11 years and 6 months.
Come on, lady. Like, you're too old to be doing this. Come on. Gotta know better. You're too old to be in jail for 10 years. Come on now. You're too old to be in jail for a day.
Ramos's mother was sentenced in July 2021 to 11 years and 6 months. Her defense argued she was manipulated by her son, but the judge found this reasoning unconvincing.
It doesn't work like
On
that.
the lower end of the syndicate, Sam James Edmonds, the catcher, was sentenced in February 2022 to 8 months home detention, with the judge noting he appeared to have been rebuilding his life. On the 9th of June 2023, Xavier Valent appeared for his own sentencing, barely reacting when the sentence was handed down. Justice Fitzgerald noted the quantum of drugs proven at trial was staggering: 85 to 93 kilograms of methamphetamine, 3 kilograms of cocaine, at least 43.5 kilograms of MDMA, and 85 kilograms of ephedrine. She added she had no doubt the actual quantity extended significantly beyond this, into the hundreds of kilograms. She described his offending as among the most serious, sophisticated, profitable, and sustained. She noted that addiction played no role, and that he showed limited insight or remorse. Xavier Valent was sentenced to life imprisonment, one of only 4 such sentences for meth-related offences in New Zealand history.
Wow.
Justice Fitzgerald noted she was in largely uncharted waters, and after—
Bro, it's not worth it, man. I don't even care how much money you make. It's not worth it to sell drugs like that. If you want to sell drugs to the people, do it the way the government does it, man. Claim it's medicine, but really it's drugs. And you're getting people addicted so you can make money. It's cool when they do it, though, right? Cool when they do it. But it's just not worth it, honestly, bro. Because you make all that money and then a couple years later, you're gone for years. And somebody like me is going to lap you. We're taking the slow rate. We're taking the slow one. Or what you can do is get in and get out. Get in a year, maybe a month. How much you can make? If you can make 20,000 like that, that should be enough for you to like figure out a way to put that somewhere to just make you 1,000 a month. If you're making 1,000 a month at something, you can just start to scale or something. Like, get some products out there, do something. It's no reason, bro. You was making $1 million a week. God damn. All them cars and everything. And that's the thing too, is like people be hella flashy with when they making dirty money, they be super flashy with that shit. I don't understand that, bro. It's just not worth it, bro. It's not worth it at all. Like, it's just not worth it in the slightest, bro. I don't care how much money somebody could put in front of me. I would never bite the bait at all. It's just, I don't care, bro. I just value, because I value going to touch a tree so much more than buying a Rolls Royce. Value that way more. Because bro's in a cell right now, bored out of his mind. He back in university doing 1,000 push-ups. Like, shit probably dead, bro. Not even probably, it is dead, man.
After examining case law, concluded, Gerald noted,
and on top of that, you literally dead to the world, to the public. But so this is the only 1 out of 4 meth cases that gets life. Now I'm curious if this is true life, real deal life in prison, or if it's one of those things where you get parole after 20 years or something like that.
Largely uncharted waters, and after examining case law, concluded that for crimes outside of murder, she couldn't impose a fixed minimum term. Therefore, Valent received the standard automatic 10-year period before he would be eligible for parole.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest though, like that seems about right. I'm gonna be honest, bro. If you didn't kill nobody, all you doing was selling drugs to people who wanted to buy them, I think about 10 to 20 years is pretty reasonable. Like, life in jail for just selling drugs, like, it's like, oh, that's kind of crazy. Because, for one, people are going to buy the drugs. They're going to buy them from somewhere. And they're selling the same drugs that the government is selling in a bottle. They're selling the drugs. And we live in a system where you guys make us so dependent on this fake money that these people are getting it by any means. Like, they make it so tight in this world to the point that people are pushed to do these things. And then you make money off of putting people in jail. So you're making money. So you benefit when they do the wrong things. So you like it. Then you get to pay cops for a salary and they go to jail and then they make a lot of money in jail. Like, the system is fucked from the beginning, bro. Really, it's not even funny. Like, it's fucked from the beginning, dude. These people just trying to make some money. Curious, if it wasn't about making money, would they really sell drugs? Like, if they wasn't in a space of like lack, Like, why is it that we don't walk outside and see a bunch of just fruit trees, a bunch of food and vegetables just growing everywhere? We have a bunch of car parks and cement and big ass parking garages. Why? Why don't we have, you know how we have the Twin Towers? We had that big ass building. Why don't we have a big ass tree like that? Why don't we have big trees? We could, if we can make a big building, we could make a big something good for people, bro. But we choose not to. They are living in brick, what's the hell is a brick? Big brick cement, goddamn metal boxes without touching the ground, wearing shoes everywhere, not even touching the earth, living detached from nature when we could live in big ass like tree houses or something like that, like something beneficial for us. Keep raising our vibration. At least you got 10 years though. I think that's cool because then 10 years is like a slap on the wrist. Because then if you keep doing it without killing people, then yeah, you should just keep getting 10 years. Like if you want to go do 10 years and then get out and then do the same thing and think you're not about to get caught and then you get caught and you got to do 10 years again, I think that's reasonable. Like 10 years for selling all this drugs is pretty reasonable. But life, way too much, bro.
10-year period before he would be eligible for parole. The Operation Mystic case exposed more than just the drug syndicate. It highlighted the ecosystem of professional enablers that allow organized crime to flourish. In 2020, the then police minister Stuart Nash commented that white-collar professionals are driving offending by gangs. This was illustrated in the separate trial of Kathy Hua, the money lady who ran a money remittance shop in Newmarket. Through this one launderer, police estimated Valent had extracted at least $26 million in profit, with Kathy only being later convicted of laundering $18 million. Text messages showed her complaining to Valent about wet sticky cash covered with white powder, stating, "Our staff sick of counting wet money. Are you sure not drug money? I am scared of drug money." She was found guilty and sentenced to 7.5 years, though this was later reduced to 6. The case also highlighted the personal ruin left in the syndicate's wake. Justice Rebecca Edwards described Storeman Peter Dong-Hai Kim's offending as a...
You know what they should do too? For these people that somehow manage, you gotta think about it. For the people that's managing money, not only are they managing all of this money and all of this stuff logistically, but they're doing it under the radar or sneakily. The government or like the system, they should take them and use their skills for good. As they clearly have the skills to manage all of this stuff in these operations. And I like these sentences that I'm hearing, like 7 years. I think that's reasonable. Like they're not killing anybody. They're just trying to make money. Yeah, 7 years. And then these people, like they didn't put them on the drugs. These people are on drugs. And then in America, like the government put people on drugs intentionally. And it's the thing too. You know, they saying like, oh, these people breaking the rules and stuff. Like, well, they said the white collar people are helping them run these illegal operations. But it's funny because the same people that's locking people up, they're running illegal operations too. Jeffrey Epstein just, I found out this guy won the lottery, a well-known billionaire. He won the lottery, bro, after getting out of jail. And he won it in a trust. So it was like people didn't know it was him until now. What are the odds of that, bro? How, like, what are the odds of that guy that's well connected wins the lottery? That's illegal. You're taking money from all of the poor people who put. It's like, how are you that greedy? These people have billions of dollars and they just won't let nobody like they. And that's what I'm saying. Then you got people out here fucked up in the world. Like these people fucked up. The bigger issue is that they fucked up. It's not that they selling drugs. They're not selling drugs to be heinous and like evil people and just fucking put people on drugs and addict them. They selling drugs because they fucked up out here. Eggs is $20 and shit. Watermelons out here, bro. I paid $38 for a watermelon. I couldn't believe it. Now I'm in South Auckland. All the watermelons I buy are like $20 max. Shout out to the Islanders, man. They got all these watermelon stands on the side of the road. I shop with them. I'm not buying watermelons from Countdown no more. These people fucked up trying to make some money.
fall from grace, as Kim was running an internet
I ain't even
cafe
saying it's right.
and working as a personal trainer. Around the same time, he became friends with a member of the drug syndicate, noting the irreparable and incalculable misery that comes with meth offending. For all his business acumen, Valent's empire was built on weak links. He would quote the 10 crack commandments, rules like never get high on your own supply, but these rules were constantly broken by his vulnerable drug-addicted workers. For Xavier Valent, his sentencing was the fulfillment of a warning given years earlier. During his 2010 sentencing, Justice Lang had warned him that continued offending would lead to very long periods of the best years of his life in jail.
And that's unfortunate. Like, you as the CEO, you doing everything right. You crossing all your T's, dotting all your I's. You good to go. But you have to, that's the thing, bro. I hate relying on people, man. Let me not use that word, hate. But I don't like relying on people, bro. Cause they not you. So he's like, this guy's relying on other people, hoping that they can be as squared away as he is, but they not. So what happens? They get high on their own supply and this and that. And like I said, I ain't saying it's right what they doing, cause I would never do something like this. It's like, it's unfortunate. Like, in this system we in, you just better off. You get just better off following the rules. Either we gonna revolt, come up with like a Black Panther party to like build our own thing and be sovereign or something like that, or you just go get a job, bro, and or become an entrepreneur and just do it the clean way. That's the only. It's not worth risking your freedom, cause you're gonna be under people who working at McDonald's, bro. You're gonna be living worse than them. But when you think about it, some people in jail making a lot of money, bro. They still in there making hella money. They still in there selling drugs, selling phones, got weapons. Some of them probably living better than fucking me. You can't never live better than somebody when you in jail, bro. Ain't no way. But some of them having more emotion than a lot of people out here, though. But they ain't living better.
In Valent's 2023 sentencing, Justice Fitzgerald recalled that warning and concluded that prediction has come true. Ultimately, the case of Xavier Valent serves as a warning to anyone drawn in by the allure of criminal endeavors. His story documents the tale of a man noted by judges as being intelligent and business savvy, but cruel, cold, and calculated with total disregard for the well-being of others, driven solely by profit and power. What are your thoughts on the sentence?
We didn't hear any examples of him like disregarding the well-being of others. That probably was people like that make it to that high level. They do have those traits, but we didn't hear any stories of him like hanging nobody over the balcony or skinning somebody alive and like any of these heinous crimes. We haven't heard anything like that. Pretty sure it's probably in there somewhere though. But this is an interesting story, man. Like, people from New Zealand. People from anywhere, people from New Zealand though, like, you see they hitting all type of levels. You got Steven Adams becoming, going to the NBA. He been in the NBA for some years now, reaching that level, going all the way to America, coming to NBA star. You got this guy right here coming to Cartel star, like making a lot of money. People from New Zealand, you got Stan Walker. Who else from New Zealand, bro? Who the other stars from this country, bro? I'm trying to think. Who comes to mind? Shit. Imagine what Scribe could have been. Like, Scribe would have been one of them. Like, yeah, he would have been one of them. Eminem type artists. Like, probably not at that level, but just the scale, the respect level. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gone. Though. I'll see y'all. I'm out of here.